Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. It's your boy the Chaotic One, and today we're going to be doing the worst Republican candidate versus the best Democrat candidate. For the worst Republican I have Mike Lindell. The dog is barking for some reason. And for his running mate I have Marjorie Taylor Greene. Honestly, the worst potential Republican ticket for 2024. I'm sure everyone will agree. And for the Democrats, for the best Democrat, I have Andy Beshear and Maura Healey. If it sounds like I'm tired, I just woke up and I'm just now recording. So that's why it might sound a little bit exhausted or tired or whatever. I just woke up. So let's start putting down all these safe Republican states. Idaho, Wyoming. There's not many safe Republican states. All the Dakotas, Nebraska's 3rd Congressional District, Oklahoma, Arkansas is safe, Tennessee, West Virginia, Alabama is safe, and that's all the safe Republican states. Now for the safe Democrat states, Hawaii, the West Coast, Colorado, New Mexico. Nebraska's 2nd District is safe in this race, so that district would be safe for Democrats. Minnesota would be safe, Illinois is safe, and Michigan would be safe. I guess you can call that a hot take if you want. Virginia, Georgia, both of those states would be safe. Yes, Georgia would have at least a 10-point swing to the left in this race. The entirety of the Northeast would be safe except Maine's 2nd District. So all these, and essentially, like, Beshear's almost at 270. Almost. And Lindell's not even at 100. So this is going to be a very lopsided election for Andy Beshear against Mike Lindell, because Mike Lindell is just a terrible candidate. Like, if he would stop talking about the freaking 2020 election, he'd be a great candidate. But no, he's not. He's talking about the 2020 election like like it's his religion. It's bad. Now let's put down the likely Republican states. Louisiana, again, like suburbs and urban areas would turn out hard against Mike Lindell, and the rural turnout would be pretty bad as well. Rural voters would probably not want to vote for Mike Lindell, even with Marjorie Taylor Greene on the ballot, and even then, people don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Same thing in Mississippi. Black turnout would be very high, most likely, and they'd turn out for Andy Beshear super hard. Like, Kentucky, that'd be likely that Kentucky would be competitive. Beshear would do very well with the working class voters in the state of Kentucky. They'd trend hard to the left against Mike Lindell. And that is all the likely Republican states. Now let's do the likely Democrat states. Nevada would be likely. Arizona. Hispanics would not vote for Mike Lindell. We'd lose all the progress we had with Hispanics, and they'd go back to Democrats. They'd go back to voting for, Democrats, and Andy Beshear would do very well with Hispanics against Mike Lindell. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania would both go likely in this scenario. Wisconsin would be a 5-point win. Pennsylvania would be like a 6-point win. 6 or 7-point win, something like that. Lindell won't do great in rural areas, but he'll do just enough to be like, hey, Republicans and the rules, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. North Carolina would go likely as well. A bunch of independent-minded voters in the state of North Carolina, which is why it's a swing state. And they would probably not turn out for Mike Lindell. They'd either vote for Andy Beshear or vote third party. We'd probably see North Carolina's 11th district flip blue in this case. And Maine's 2nd district, that'd also go blue. Jared Golden would probably, Beshear would probably win by Jared Golden margin in the state of in Maine's 2nd congressional district, which would put Maine at large at safe. And with this, we haven't even gotten to toss-up districts, and Beshear's already won, and close to a landslide margin. Now let's talk about lean Republican states. There's just one. There's just one, and that is Indiana. That's going to be lean Republican. I would give it to Beshear, but there's not enough groundwork for Democrats in Indiana to give it to Beshear. You can say that Beshear does a lot better here down in southern Indiana and up here in the working class area of Indiana as well. But where else does he do good at? He would do good in the Indianapolis suburbs, but even then, the rural areas are still too red. And then again, rural areas won't be, super red, but still, they'll be red enough to keep the state red. It's still not enough for Beshear to win it. That's the only lean Republican state. Now let's go to the lean Democrat states. Alaska would flip. A lot of libertarian voters would vote for Andy Beshear over Mike Lindell. And Alaska is a very libertarian state, which is why it's been trending left so much, because the Republican Party is stepping away from libertarian values. Utah would also flip. It'd have a massive swing to the left. If you thought the swing from 2012 to 2016 was bad, this race would be even worse, and Democrats would actually be getting the vote this time. Would be getting moderate Republican votes, as Utah would flip very narrowly to the Democrat column. Kansas would also flip. It would be a 2-point victory for Andy Beshear. Probably, I don't want to say 2018 Kansas gubernatorial margins because Laura Kelly won by a... Oh wait, I forgot. I'm sorry. Nebraska's first and Nebraska at large would be lean. Okay. Because Laura Kelly ended up winning by a likely margin, so it would probably be a lean margin. Beshear probably beats Lindell in the state by 2 points. Texas would also flip in this case. He'd probably win it by 4 points. Beshear would do very well down here in the South, considering he's from Kentucky, a deep red state, a moderate populist through and through, with Maura Healey, who's a bit progressive on a lot of issues. She's not crazy like Tina Kotick, but she is still a progressive, which will help her with a lot of voters. A lot of progressive voters. But I'm pretty sure Democrats would just vote for Andy Beshear no matter what, just to get Mike Lindell off, away from the White House. Iowa and Ohio, those two would flip back. Iowa would be a 3-point victory. Ohio would be a 4-point victory for Beshear. Again, all of the progress Republicans made with white working class voters down the drain, essentially, because they decided to nominate Mike Lindell, who was a god-awful candidate. He talked about, the election's rigged. The guy's great on social issues. The guy's great on economic issues. But when it comes to the election, the guy freaking made himself look like a fucking idiot. Oh my god. If you can't tell, I'm super pissed about it. South Carolina, as well as Florida. Cuban Americans would vote for Andy Beshear over Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell can talk about socialism all he wants, and South Florida will trend hard to the left. Like I said, all the work Republicans have gotten with Hispanics, gone. And so the last two states will be tilt states, and they'll both go to Andy Beshear by a tilt margin. Missouri would be closer than Montana, but Montana's a very independent-thinking state, if you want my honest opinion. They're a lot right-winged, but, they'd vote for an independent over a Republican they don't like. Take a look at the 2018 Montana Senate race. That should tell you. Missouri, it's been trending left. A lot of people have been saying this for a while, and I think with Mike Lindell, rural turnout's not going to be all that great, and Montana has a lot of rural areas, it does. But if you take a look at the 2016 Missouri Senate race, Roy Blunt, who's a mediocre Republican, is running up against a great candidate in Jason Kander. Now, what happens if you get a god-awful Republican to run up against a pretty good Democrat? You probably get Missouri to flip very narrowly, with trends and all that. But this is the final map. Mike Lindell at 87 electoral votes to Andy Beshear's 451 electoral votes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.